Shut the heck up when you hear love talking. Shut the heck up if you hear love talking. If God be the source, then I'm the plug talking. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Okay.
Podcast in Jesus, openness, and encouragement.
Welcome to the Encouraging Thoughts with Tommy podcast.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Tommy the Encourager, your favorite encourager. Back again with another podcast episode. Woo-woo. As always, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode with me and just being in this space with me as always. In today's episode, we're going to talk about doing the great things you have always wanted to do. I know it sounds very corny. I know it sounds very cliche, something that you have probably heard a million times from everyone, right? But have you heard from an encourager's perspective? No, right? You haven't, hence why you have tuned in to listen and watch today's episode. So thank you. So stay with me here. All this will make sense soon. So please bear with me, okay? So in 2020, my first ever episode came out, and around this time of the year, came out around let's just say July, so summertime almost. We're still in spring, getting to summer, right? The episode was called Just Do It. And it was about 12 minutes long, where I talked briefly about doing the very thing you have dreamt of doing, but I've been so scared of doing it because of just what you thought others would think about it, right? And the episode is still up. And after you hear this episode, if you want to listen to it, you definitely can, because it is still up on my podcast. And I will never take it down, even if I now find my voice just very cringy at that time, because I hear it and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was me. But hey, it was me. Anyways, the episode reminds me of how far I have come. And I remember when recording that episode, I was just very nervous and scared and just thinking of just like, yo, what I'm doing is stupid. No one's going to take me seriously. However, I still recorded it and put it out to the world, right? So great, lovely story. Oh, told me, love it, love it, love it. This is the part where I now say it changed my life. And then I started being bold and making more episodes and content in my brand and all that great stuff. No, wrong. Yeah, again, don't take me seriously sometimes, right? But anyways, after that episode, I still had very much doubts in my mind, right? I didn't put my next episode literally until the end of that year of 2020 in December. Then still after, I did not create another episode towards the end of 2021. It is only then till this year, this year, that I, created another episode and really just taking my gift more seriously and really starting to create more content out. And this episode today is really just a part 2 of that episode, honestly, y'all. The parts that you don't necessarily hear from people who talk about just doing what you always wanted to do, like the process, the learning, accepting who you are, and before accepting your gift and calling. I did not get to where I am today by some just big epiphany and boom, here I am doing this day and all that great stuff, right? I actually got here by taking small steps every single day in learning who I am in God and actively just taking the steps to heal, to learn, and to grow. So that's what I want to talk with you all. Like, I had to go through a process. This is not something, again, where I just went through it and again, boom, epiphany, here I am. Woo. I wish it was that simple. I wish it was something where I could just wish for it or pray for it and boom, I get to be where I am today, and or even where I want to be further along in this process where I'm at in life. I wish, but as you all know, as everybody knows, that's not how it goes, right? That's not how life works. Life is definitely much a journey, especially when you're working towards a goal. You don't just boom, say you want to go and then boom, you got to the goal. You have to work for it, right? You have to go for it. You have to make sure you put in the work every single day to make sure you get to that place. And that is something that I just want to talk about today, and something that I think for myself a lot, that I'm really learning in this time, that I'm really just reflecting a lot with myself, with God, and just really really finding gratitude in this process, even though at times it could be annoying. It could be like, man, when I'm going to get there. But I see that this process again is very, very needed because it's molding me and it's helping me to become the woman that I always wanted to be. Things again that I've been praying for. Again, I know I've been saying this multiple times, but it's just because it's my truth, and it's something that I'm just really grateful for, to be in this space, because I can now see clearly again where God and I have been talking, the visions that he has for me clearly, and now I know it's attainable because again, I see that, and I see that, you know, it's always been there. It's just for me again to get up and to recognize that. But with the getting up and recognizing that, it didn't happen overnight, y'all. It didn't happen, and again, in some boom and some like, oh my gosh, this is it. It happened when I just took the steps, when I said, no, we're going to keep moving forward. When I made a decision to say, I don't want to live the life of just being timid or scared or just feeling like I can't do things. I had to actively every single day make a decision that I'm going to keep moving forward, that I'm going to make a decision to move in the spaces that I want to be in, to be the woman that I've been praying for. I had to do the work. Simple. I had to do it. And again, it's easier said than done, but I took that choice to say, you know what? No, I want to live. I want to take control of my life. I want to do the things that I always dreamt of doing and not dream anymore, but actually now start talking about like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like the episodes, I've thought about doing these things, even public speaking, so much things that I have been doing and so much more that I know I'm going to continue to do. However, again, it wasn't a simple thing of just dreaming and thinking about it anymore. It was saying now it's time to take action. So what I'm trying to say from here as well too, what I learned in this process right now and what I'm still learning, because again, this is not a place where I'm like, yes, I arrived and I know all the answers. Definitely not. Again, I'm here to encourage you as I'm encouraging myself. And I learned that in order for me to accept my gift, my calling that God has given me, I had to accept who I was first. I had to be okay to know that this is who I am and run with it and go with it. And so a lot of that, again, like I always share, was just being in the place, having that relationship with God and learning learning more of who he was, as it helped to open my eyes of who I was, the things that he has said about me. And more importantly, all this went back to the word, to the Bible. And so again, this journey of who I am today, all that stuff, and still furthermore, it's not something, again, it's overnight. As I've been sharing this whole time from a lot of my episodes you've heard, is that I was in a place where I doubted myself, had low self-esteem, didn't think that I can amount to much, didn't really take myself seriously because I thought, oh, people don't take me seriously, listen to everybody else, but not really listen to myself or God. Like literally the book of no boundaries, the book of like just not thinking that I'm special, you know, like, and again, I know I'm not the only one thinking this. And hence why I created this whole podcast, because I know there's other people who felt the same way. There's even people I listen to that inspire me, that mentor me, that will literally tell me the almost exact same story, not everything, but similar, of how they themselves too were just like, I didn't think that I can get to this place where I am today, right? And their own story. So again, I want you to know that you're not alone. And it gives me hope that when people share their stories, hence why I want to always share my story for people, because I wanted to give hope to somebody else to know to keep going, because that's what I needed for myself, to keep going in this life too. And so again, with myself, it wasn't until I really understood more of who I am and really more of my gift, and really starting to see the importance and the value that God has always said I was and who I am, for me to really just say, okay, I'm doing this, I'm going forth. I don't care if people don't, you know, find it seriously of what I'm doing as an encourager, right? Even the name told me the encourager. I don't even know how that literally came to me. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even know the day. I should have written the day or something, but of how I got the name. But I think, again, when I started to really get in relationship with God and talk to him, and I will listen to him and write so much stuff down and really start having visions of where I know I could be in life, is when I think I started to really understand my gift and so much of the things I've done. A lot of things with me is a lot of public speaking and talking. And this is something that I have been hearing for years from family, from friends, from literally anybody that knows me. They'd be like, oh, you speak so well, or you're so passionate about mental health, you're so passionate about speaking to people and encouraging people. Like, that is so great. And I would hear this all the time, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, I hear this all the time, and I'm like, okay. Like I just was like, isn't that something that everybody should be able to do, just to encourage, just to speak well, or to speak with passion in whatever you're speaking about? Shouldn't that be something that's easy? But come to find out, y'all, as I'm now again being with God and other people as well too, people telling me their stories, they were like, no, it's not that easy to actually encourage people. It's not that easy to actually speak from a place of understanding or being mindful or empathetic to one's thoughts or one's mind. It's not that easy for a lot of folks, hence why there's people have different gifts, people have different talents, people have different things, because we all come together with different aspects of our lives, different things that we carry to help one another, right? But again, I was really dimming my light because again, I didn't know the value, the worth that I carried, right? And again, it's not until I really got a relationship with God that I really started to see that. And so with this that I'm saying, again, took years for me to get to a place of where I'm at today. Again, it didn't really start until this year because it was a journey. And what I'm now realizing in this space where I'm creating like podcasts, episodes, content, and really just trying to just put myself more out there than I used to do. Because again, I used to even be scared to put myself out. I said, oh, I shouldn't do that. Maybe I'm going to be looking cocky. I'm going to be looking too much. Maybe this and this. No, like now I'm at a place where I can know if this is something that is good, that's healthy for myself, healthy for someone else, why not do this? Right? I think many times we really start to question again the good that we have inside ourselves, the good that comes from God. And we start to think, oh, it's too much. Maybe it seems like I'm trying to be better than anyone else, or maybe it seems like I'm doing the most, I'm trying to seek attention, or I'm trying to be everyone else. Like, no, actually, if you think about it, no, you're just being yourself. You're carrying out the gift that God has given you, the calling that he has called you to do, And again, the only way you can believe that and understand that for yourself is when you get with him and really have that time to process your thoughts, to really reflect and say, no, I want better. And how is that better going to look like for my life before I even want that for someone else? You have to live out your truth, right? It's not something about me just telling this to you if I'm not actually doing it myself, right? So again, with this is something that I had to do constantly every single day, making that decision, saying that I want better for myself, or I don't want to be in a thought process or thought mindset of thinking I'm less than, that I can't do it, that I have to listen to everyone else because they know better. But knowing that deep down inside, I know what I wanted. I know where I want to be, right? And so again, that it's not until I got with God that it helped me to just continue to be better, continue to know that I'm okay, I'm safe. So with this, with my journey and still in my journey today, a lot of the times of what I've done is just really just having a great support system. Like I always said, support system, people that I can lean on, being okay to be vulnerable, but knowing that when you're vulnerable, it's actually courageous. It's not something where, again, you're in a place of weakness. I noticed many times that when I talked about the things that I were scared, I was really just fearful of, it would actually felt like a brick coming off my shoulders. And the more that I talked about what was going on or confessed about the things that I was not proud of doing, the more I just felt more at ease. And the more it helped me to keep moving forward and to see the worth that I have inside of me, the light that is inside of me. For myself, as now that, again, the process of me coming in the place where today I could finally actually do more of the content, I now have noticed that for me, in order for me to now believe and really go forth and putting all that I'm doing today, really, again, started off with me first learning who I was in God. So I had to be in his word. I wanted to be in his word. I wanted to understand more of who God was in my life and really see and believe the truth that he has said who I am, right? He said, I'm above rubies, I'm a masterpiece. That he said that he has clothed me, right? That if he can clothe the birds in the grass and give everything that needs, how much more can he help me, can clothe me, can love on me, right? A lot of scripture has helped me to this day to really help me to understand who I am in God. And then from there as well too, the people that are around me helped me so much when I had questions, when I didn't know, especially learning about, hey, is my thoughts a bit weird or different? Am I normal? Am I this? I had so many times where I just was like, oh my gosh, am I thinking straight? Am I thinking okay? And I had reassurance from family and friends where they were like, no, you're fine, because I think that too. I'm not perfect either. I had moments where I was like, oh my gosh, what should I do? Where should I go? How do I get help? So that's was something that helped me. And so from there, as I finally started to just take those steps every single day to let go, to surrender my life, to surrender my thoughts, to surrender the ways of how I thought life is supposed to be, is when I actually started to now say, you know what? Yeah, I want to do more of what I'm doing today. I want to encourage others and love on people. It's not just only something that's natural to me, but I love to do, because again, when I can encourage someone, or when I can be there and see that perspective where maybe some people don't see, it really does fill me up. It really does. And there is times where I know that sometimes I just have to take a step back and just to be to myself. That's why I said, again, God is the source to everything, even for the encouragement. But again, I do know that when I encourage people, when I love on people, when I try to let them know and just see something else that I also see in them, especially what God sees in them, it really made, like, I don't know, something in me is just like, I love this, like ding, 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 like lights are flashing, good things, everything is just coming in, like the endorphins in me are like, like, I'm just like on top of the world, you know? And again, that is something that I see that I'm like, yeah, this is a gift. And this is a gift that I want to continue to do for myself and for others, right? And so now, as I started this year with the content, with everything, I noticed that once I saw the vision and the plans that God had for me, right? Because he has plans and hope for a future for me, I then was able to start doing all this that I'm doing now. But I noticed that I had to be consistent with it. And this is why, again, where I'm starting to notice is that not everybody is going to continue to clap for you or to continue to be like cheering you on, right? They may be at first, when you're starting something new, especially that this is something that's your calling or your gift or something that you've always been dreamt of doing, you will probably have your family and friends and be like, yes, let's go. However, sometimes they're not going to always clap for you. And it doesn't mean that they don't like it or they're not there. It's just they have other things that they're doing too, that they're trying to get together, that they're listening from God, that they're trying to put all this together. They have lives. And so this is where I want you to understand. And what I'm learning is to not be discouraged, to not be something where you're just like, man, like, gosh, nobody's clapping, no one's listening to my episodes like that. Like, I'm gonna tell you the truth, I don't get so many people listening, right? And that's okay, because again, I see the worth that I'm doing. I see the value in what I'm doing. And it's not something in the sense of just getting everybody to listen and, ooh, clap for me, clap for Tommy. No, but again, the things that I'm saying is of God, is from God's word. And so I see the value of that. And I want to put it out there because I want you, as the person who's listening, to go back to the word, to go get a relationship with God, to understand and be your true and authentic self, to live out the purpose that you always been meant to live out, to be yourself, to be all that, be all of it, y'all, all of it, to be encouraged and just continue to encourage other people. Because I want this to be a ripple effect. I don't want this to be, oh, Tommy courage is, and that's it. I want to, hopefully that as I'm doing these episodes, it's encouraging you to be like, I want to encourage others too. This is not something that starts and ends with me. No, this is something that should continue on and on. I want this to be where, you know how like an influencer is now like a job title where people take it seriously. I want encourager one day to be a job title. I want a little girl or boy to say, when someone says, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? Then they say an encourager. And I'm like, we doing something right. Because yeah, why not, right? We're doing something right. If someone could say, I want to be an encourager, taking it seriously, that this is no joke. It's not a joke to encourage people to be their true and authentic self, to understand that they're so loved by God and by people around them, right? It's not a joke. And so for myself, I noticed that I had to get into a place of consistently believing what that is true from God. And then from there, continuing on, even when nobody is clapping for me. So I now see that when your purpose is aligned, when you have that vision, and then from there, when you start creating that, you gotta keep going. Because trust me, the one thing I do know now too is that the enemy, he be trying it. It's like, again, this is something that it's like a constant thing that you have to make the decision. And that's what I'm learning. It's not something where it's just like, again, boom, I got here and nothing can ever tell. No, every day it's a constant battle at times where sometimes you just wake up and you're like, oh no, I don't think this is it. I don't think I can do this. I don't know. But again, when you remember what God has told you about you, what he has said about your visions and the plans that you have written down and running with it, you then remember, say, no, enemy, you can't put me down. Were you kidding me? I know what my voice carries weight because my voice is from God. Are you okay? Like you sometimes just gotta shut the enemy up and remember what God has told you, because his truth is real. And that truth sets you free. So because again, the enemy puts lies in your mind, thinking that you're nothing, you're not worth it, what you're trying to do is nothing, it would never be like help others. No, those are lies. And so the day that I finally stopped believing those lies and start believing God's truth is when I just found that freedom, and it set me free. And so now I noticed that I need to be consistent. So trust me, y'all, nobody's really listening to my episodes like that. And I'm not saying this in a place of like, oh my gosh, pity, listen to it. No, I know one day this will blow up. Again, I know it. I have mad confidence about that. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. But what I do know is that I want to continue to walk in my truth, no matter who is listening, no matter who is tuning in, that I live and walk in my truth every single day for myself and for whoever who needs it. Because again, I know my purpose. I know that this is something that can help other people to understand that they are worth it as well too. It's like part of their journey as well too, part of their support system, their aid. I'm not the be all end all. And I will never want anyone to say, oh, I need to always go back to Tommy. No, eventually I want you to even get to a place where you're just like, okay, I'm good. I don't need to listen to Tommy. It was just a season. I got to go to somewhere else. Great. I do the same exact thing too. But knowing that you go back to the source. So now I'm in a place where I'm just continually doing these episodes because I see that it's worth it, that this is valuable, that it's needed in this world. And so consistency is key, y'all. You hear that all the time. Consistency is key. People of all these celebrities that we know of today, people that we value, that we like Oprah, let's just say, Obama, all these great people that we know, right? When they tell their story, one thing I've always heard in comments is that every day they had to show up for themselves. They had to show up even when those days where they're just like, man, nothing is happening. I don't see any fruits from this. I don't see anything moving. But again, because they believed in that truth for themselves, because they believed in the value that they had, that they believe in what God has given them, the vision, they said, you know what, today I'm getting up, today I'm going to keep moving forward. So that is something that I'm understanding right now, is that I have to keep showing up. I want to. And so because I believe in this so much, I'm going there, even if it's one person listening to me, even if it's just myself talking to myself all the time and I'm encouraged. Great, good, because my gift is for myself too, right? As much as your gift is for yourself as well too. So I'm showing up, I'm coming here, even if I have moments where I'm just like, I'm tired, I want to rest. No, because I know it's needed, it's valued. Like I wasn't put in this world just because. No, God made me for a reason. And God made you for a reason as well too. So never think that you were here by mistake. Now, another thing that I'm learning as well too is that, again, it takes time. I think what I've learned is that, or seen actually really, is that again, social media, lots of places, especially, will make you feel like, man, you're not doing enough, that you're not, doing anything, because you're starting to see sometimes people who are in your, let's just say, quote unquote, your mates or other people around you that are look like they're making it, and they're making this money, and they're getting popularity, and people are loving them, and oh my gosh, woo, right? And I'm not gonna lie, it makes you feel some type of way. It makes you feel like, man, am I doing enough? Like, how is it that they're there and I'm still here? Like, I'm trying, I'm showing up. But again, it takes time. Everything has a time. Everything has a time and a place for things. Go and read Ecclesiastes in the book, in the Bible. It will really let you know that there's always a time and place for everything. And I think that's the thing as well, too. Many times people are trying to rush to get to that place where they know they can go and be. They're trying to rush through it. But again, so much in that goal or that place you want to be is actually really much in the journey, in the process. So I'm understanding that many times you need to be happy also, and find gratitude even in the process. Because it's like, let's just say, okay, you're asking for a present from someone, you and you know you and it's this big present. I don't know what it is, you're just asking for it. Or let's just say you're saying, okay, I want this specific thing out of my life, right? Many times when we get something, we like it, right? We get that gift, and we will be like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty, it's so nice, ah, ha, ha, ha. But from there, watch, how as humans, our minds would then be like, okay, cool, but we don't then see the value in that anymore, because it was really just given to us, right? And I know some other people love gifts, and they will be like, oh my gosh, like for me, when I get a gift from anything, I'm just like, oh my God, this is great. But sooner or later, I will then be like, okay, this is great, right? I don't see that sentimental value as much anymore. But when I know that I worked for it, that I, made sure to put in the work to get that present or to get that gift, once I have it, I see more of that value in it. I see so much of like, man, I know what to do with this. I know how to handle this. I know what to how to take care of this. I know what to do. I have so much more gratitude. I have so much more like, this is it. You get so even more excited for it, because you just know what it took to get to that, to get that present, or to get that gift, or whatever that is for you. You just understand that so much more. So now you don't take it lightly. And because now in that process of you getting a gift, you're not the same person. You're not the same person of where you were before, when you were just even trying to say, I want that thing, or I want that gift, or whatever that is, that goal. You're not the same person. Because of that process, you were refined. You went through a journey of learning and becoming and growing and healing. And so from there, once you now get to that place of the goal, you're actually a totally different person, a better person, because every single day we are learning and we're growing. But the thing is, you have to be open and ready to receive that growth, open and ready to receive the goodness that's there for you. It's not an easy thing. Growth is not fun. I remember hearing this from Jadena, I follow him on Instagram, and he was like, growth is pain, great growth hurts, but it's needed. It's again, it's like you're refined. It's like you were thrown in the fire. I know it sounds wild, but it's like a diamond or something with the heat. And when you come out of it, you're now just like shining, you're great, you're amazing, because you were put and tested, and now you're refined. And so that's something that I'm learning in this process, that it's not something for me to just be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be here and I need to get there now. I actually want to enjoy the journey of this, because again, there's something about the process that really just gets you to be better, that once you now get to that goal, you're able to appreciate it better. You're able to even handle it better. Imagine you were giving the gift that you asked for, you get it, and then you even ask God, like, okay, what do I do now with it? No. Once you get to that goal or gift, you should be in a place where you're like, I know what to do with it, because you have went in the process and the training, right? You went in the process and the training to learn how to handle whatever that you want to get in the end. You learn how to use it wisely. And you don't just do whatever with it, because you learned what to do, right? I remember when I think it was Pastor Michael Todd, it was like, you want a car. And so now you're given the car. Great. But if you don't learn how a car works or operates at times, you're going to just be like, okay, how does it move? What does it do? You have to learn how to drive the car, right? So you take lessons. You got to learn that also to probably get a job, because one, especially you're going to have to get insurance. So the car is insured. Because another thing too, you need to get a job in the sense of also paying for gas and also the maintenance of that. So in that time of you saying, I want to get a car and save up for it to get that, you're going to go through a whole process of learning how to take care of this car. So how to use this car. So it's a whole process for it. It's not something that you just be like, okay, I want a car, boom, I got it. And I think it's really important for us to not skip the process of that. And so with all this that I'm saying is that, yes, go for it. If God has given you a vision to be this amazing and president or whatever, I don't know what that is for you, but He has given you this vision, great. Write it down, run with it, do what you got to do, put it all down and there and start creating the plan and everything. But do know that it's going to be a process to get there. This is not something that is just quick, fast. I know in today's world, we hear so much of this, like, make quick money, make this quick. Like, why are we such in a hurry? What are we in a hurry for? If you think about it, I understand we think about this as time, right? But when you know yourself from God, trust me, nothing is ever too late for you. Nothing is ever too late for you. Because you know you're from God, and God is literally, He's outside of time. He's the one that literally is moving time for us. Time doesn't stop God. God can stop and move time. So when you understand that, you start to see that you're not in a place of like, oh my gosh, I have to finish this. You're just in a place of, I'm right exactly where I'm supposed to be. So you enjoy the process. You enjoy that place because, again, you know that God is the one that's helping you. And He's telling you like, hey, move right here, do this, do that. And so He's telling you, hey, I'm not about to speed this up for you unless I tell you need to speed it up. And trust me, we know when things need to be sped up and not. But that's where you need to make sure that you don't move out of fear, but move out of faith, because faith can move mountains, y'all. It really can. So enjoy the process. Stick to it. Consistency is key. If people are not clapping for you, if nobody's looking at you, it's okay. Again, as long as your vision that God has given you, right? The plans, the purpose is of God, trust me, it will go well for you. You will get to that place that you are dreaming, that you're visioning about. You will get there. I believe it wholeheartedly. And I'm encouraging you to please do it. But part of the doing means enjoy the process. Be ready for the process. Be ready for the refining. Be ready to learn. Be ready to heal. Be ready to grow. Be ready to leave even the old habits you thought that were helping you, but really was just a coping mechanism for you. And be ready to learn new habits. Be ready to learn healthier habits. Be ready to receive love and great relationships from people. Be ready to even hold your truth from God. I think that's something that I'm learning as well too, as I'm becoming this myself, Tomi Obide, Tomi the Encourager, all that great stuff and so much more. I noticed that I'm starting to believe more of my instincts and of God. Many times when I growing up and even before, like I listened to a lot to people. And again, hence the no boundaries thing, because I just was like, oh, I want to please people. I want people to be happy. But I noticed that deep down inside, I wasn't happy. And I will always have this like gut feeling that, I shouldn't do this or I shouldn't do that. But because again, I just was like, no, I want to make this person happy. I don't want conflict. I don't want this. I did that. But then once I did whatever that was, I then come back and be like, oh my gosh, I should just listen to myself. I should have listened to God. Like, I'm not wrong about my own decisions. So don't question yourself. And if you're around people that make you feel like make you question like, oh my God, what you're saying is wrong, or invalidate that, then you need to be like, this is not it. And let them go. Because again, what God says about you is true and is real. And so you have to believe and understand that the Holy Spirit would never steer you wrong. Will never steer you wrong. I give you an example of this. I was reading actually to even today, John 8 in the Bible. And in this whole chapter, legit, what I love so much is literally just how Jesus moves and how he knows who he is and where his source is from, and which is God Almighty, the Father. And so in there, again, the Pharisees are coming to him and they're basically trying to test Jesus. The first one, it was about this woman who did adultery, who committed adultery. And they came there and they were like, shouldn't you stone her? Shouldn't we stone her? All this stuff. And he literally, what I love about Jesus, he was just like, if nobody has did any sin or convicted or anything like that, let them cast a stone. And literally one by one, everybody's moving, everybody's going, and Jesus is in the dirt, in the dust, like just riding something. And by the time you know it, it's now just Jesus and this woman. And Jesus was like, do you see your accusers anywhere? And the lady was like, no, I do not, Lord. And he was like, neither do I. You're forgiven. Don't sin anymore again. And he just let her go. And this is so amazing because he did this on the Sabbath day, and people are like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Why did you do this? Da, da, da. And this is actually another thing too, what he did on the Sabbath day, actually, a man was blind. And so he spat on the clay, he rubbed it on the man's eyes, and he said, go to Siloam. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Again, go to the Bible and read it for yourself. He said, go to Siloam, that pool, and wash that clay off your eyes. And as soon as that man did that, he went there, he washed it off, he started to see. Mind you, this man was born blind, y'all, born blind. And he was just like, oh my gosh, praise God, yes. And so again, Pharisees and other people were like, wait a minute, because people were starting to say, hey, isn't that the beggar? Isn't that the blind man that we would be seeing? Like, wait a minute, what's going on? So they're all asking him like, hey, bro, like, what's going on? How are you seeing? And he was like, this man, he did this, and he spat in some clay, and now I can see, it's great, blah, blah. And the Pharisees kept like asking him the same exact question, like, who's this man? Who's this person? He was like, it was Jesus, I believe, and it's him, and all that stuff. And they just didn't want to believe that, or actually they were just refusing and didn't want to believe that Jesus was really doing that. And actually, the Pharisees were just really, just honestly, in my opinion, the haters. Because the thing is, they were really actually more angry at Jesus because he did it on the Sabbath. It's like, really? You can't see that he just performed a miracle where this man who was born blind can now see? He was trying to have you see the goodness of God, the works that God is good and that he's from Father. But because you're so focused on the traditions and the laws and the religion and all that stuff, you can't actually really see that God is the one that healed this man. And so now they're over here with Jesus, literally arguing with him, saying, oh my gosh, who are you? Who do you think you are? Saying that you are the Father and you can do this and you can heal people and that you're at that. And what I love that Jesus was like literally said over and over, and he was like, no, I know who I am. I know I'm from the Father. He has sent me here. And if you know who the Father is, then you know who I am too. If you say you believe in God, you believe in me. Literally, he had like he didn't sugarcoat anything, y'all. And so where I took from that is that Jesus knew who he was. He knew who he was, and he knew where he was going. And because he knew who he was and where he was going, he didn't allow anybody to come and tell him anywise. He didn't allow any Pharisees, even his disciples, nobody to tell him like, yo, actually, this is wrong. He didn't believe any of them because, again, he believed God. And so that should even encourage us today to also move in that truth as well, too. To believe in the gift and the calling that God has given you, and to not let anybody or anything make you feel like what you're doing is wrong. As long as it's healthy for you and that person is not harming anyone else and is not harming yourself, do it. Just do it. Don't wait for the right time. Don't wait for like, oh my gosh, this is it. That I have to be perfect. I have to be this. No, you're never going to be perfect. Only Jesus Christ is. As long as you're in the Father, as long as you're hearing from him and you believe that that God has told you to do is you should do it, then go for it. But be ready to be in the refining, be ready to learn and grow from it. Be ready to be in the process. Even Jesus Christ went through that process of getting to where he arrived and then died on the cross for us. Everything is a process. And so we shouldn't skip it or try to rush it, or even try to sometimes take things slow, even if God is telling you to hurry up, right? Again, Everybody should be able to hear from God. As long as you're of him, he created us. You just need to talk to him and he talks back. And so that is something that I'm now understanding in this place. That if Jesus Christ knew who he was when he said, I am that I am, then I, Tomio Bide, know who I am too. I am from the Father. And my source is from him. And so I'm not letting anyone or anything waver that for me. And so I'm going in this in my truth, being bold and being confident in myself, because I know that I'm not doing this alone. And so I'm going to keep showing up every day, even if it sounds like I have a few listeners, even if it's like probably my family or friends listening, I'm going to keep showing up because I know that this is real. And I know that this is what I'm supposed to do. And I want to do it. No one's forcing me. No one's doing that. No, I want to do this. And I'm going to keep going because it's not harming me. It's not harming anyone else. If anything, it's just helping other people and helping myself. So I want to encourage you to go for it. If you're feeling scared, if you're feeling like, man, I don't know if I can do this, again, go to God, talk to him. Let him tell you the great things that he knows about you, that he wants to help you heal from, to learn from, to grow from. Let him. And once you have understood that for yourself, continue that relationship with him, never stop. But when you're ready to move in there, to move in that space and occupy the spaces that you have been dreaming of, go for it. We are ready. We need it. And I think that's something that I'm seeing, especially of today, where unfortunately, we are hearing people dying every single day. Unfortunately, people are being bold to take other people's lives. So why can't we be bold to do the very good things that God has placed in us? Why are we so scared and afraid? No. Let us not stand back anymore, but to come in and do the very things that we know we can do and not be scared of what other people have to say. Speak up, say something, do what you always wanted to do. You probably have some type of idea that can help so many people. Don't shy away. Don't be timid. It's not doing anything for anyone. And even for yourself, when you try to move away or think, oh, maybe I'm doing too much, don't let your pride get in the way. So just know that everything will be okay, but it takes time. It's a process. Understand that for yourself and just do it. That's it. Just do it. So you see me right now, before I end, I want to just acknowledge that you see me with red hair. I think this is another probably just do it moment for myself, where I literally was like on Amazon, right? I bought my hair on Amazon, this extension, faux locks. And I literally saw the red hair and I was just like, you know what? I want red hair. I literally said that. I was just like, I just want it. Like, I want to try it. I want to put it on my hair. I want to put the extensions in. And a moment too, again, I was kind of like, oh, what people say about me, what do this. But then I said, no, who cares? I finally just was like, I don't care. YOLO, I'm doing it. And I did. And at first I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. This is ugly. Like I literally said, I was like, this is not it. So I was showing all my friends and was like, yo, tell me the truth. Like, what is this? What is that? Like, is this okay? And a lot of them surprisingly were like, no, this is cute. I literally was ready for them to be like, y'all not tell me the truth. Don't be that friend right now. Tell me the God honest truth right now. Like, don't be playing me right now. And so then my friends were like, no, girl, this and this, it's all good. It looks good on you. Even other people, like my coworkers, it looks good. I love the red. I'm like, you guys are lying. Like, who told you to lie to my face? Like, why are you lying? Why are you always lying? Always lying. Okay. But anyways, like, really, why are you lying? And they were like, no, we're not lying. And I was like, really? Word? So anyways, I said, okay, fine. This is it. So it took me a while. I literally was like, I think this is the first full week I've worn it. So this is definitely freshly new. And so I said, okay, by the end of the week, if I don't really like it, I'm going to change it, blah, blah. So I even actually bought bought black hair because I was just like, I'm just gonna change it. This is not it. So I bought the black hair, but then I, started just playing with it, looking through it, and just saying, you know what? Who cares about people's opinions? Again, I just wanted to do this for myself, because what I'm starting to learn as well too is like, I don't want to be in a place of regret of saying, oh, why didn't I get the red hair? Or why didn't I do this? As long as it's healthy, y'all, as long as it's not harming me or anyone else, right? Got to always remember that. Why not do it? And so I did. And honestly, y'all, I'm really happy I did. Now, like I said, I had red hair and I loved it. Something that I can probably show my future kids and be like, look at your mama having red hair. I thought she cute. No, for real. Like, I'm like, hey, your mama was cute. They're gonna be like, Mom, I don't know who let you out the house looking like that. But I would then be able to laugh about it, not in a place of like, man, I should have done this, should have done that. Again, I think sometimes we have, again, as people who want to help and love on people, we have to help and love on ourselves too. I even did my nails, right? Did some nails, got these colors. You see it, color, fun, right? Because I'm really trying to practice self-love and just being able to say, hey, I want to do this for me, not because of anyone else. If I don't even get approval from anyone else, why do I need everybody else's approval when God approved me? This is who I am. This is me, just of child of God. He said I'm free. So why am I trying to allow the assumptions of what I think people are thinking of me to boggle me down, to make me feel in bondage? No, that's not of God. And so that's why I said, okay, I'm having red hair and I want to live my life and have fun. I want to say this as well too. So next week, or should I say this week, because we're in Sunday right now as I'm recording this episode and putting this out, I'm gonna go skydiving too. I'm actually really nervous but excited. And so again, I'm just doing the things that I've always wanted to do, because again, I don't want to live in a place of like, oh, I should have done this, I should have done, even with these episodes, there's so many things I want to do with just Tommy the Encourager, my brand. I don't want to be in a place where I'm just like, oh man, I should have tried this, I should have do this. Again, there's never a place of being too late, but when you don't try it at all, man, I don't want to be in that place. So I'm going forth now, even if I stumble on the way, even if I don't get it. Again, that's the process, y'all. You're not going to be perfect at it, but the more you do, the better you're going to get. And that's the whole point of it. Keep going. Don't stop. Even if you're like, man, I messed up, even if I say, oh gosh, I didn't get this right, it's okay. Thank God for God's grace that we're still here again. So get up, dust your shoulders off. Hey, if you're feeling like a pain, okay, let me stop. But like, dust your shoulder off and keep moving forward. It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to be perfect at it. Just keep trying at it. Trust me, you get better. And by the time you know, you even look back and like, man, I remember when I just started this thing, look where I'm at today. And that's what I'm trying to prove to myself. I want to look at the end of this year and be like, wow, I did the things I said I was going to do. And look at it. Look at this. I want to be proud of myself. And I am proud of myself. So go be proud of yourself too. And know that all that God has created you to be, it's worth it. You're meant to be here. You're meant to occupy great spaces. It's not a mistake that you're here. So move boldly. Take space because you're meant to do it. And so I'm just really grateful for all this and just being in space. I will say this before I end. I am taking like a month break of doing my episodes because I really want to work on a lot of different business projects for Tommy the Encourager. So I will be back probably by the end of June, early July-ish. And just know it's going to be great things. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say great things, but I want to keep it a surprise. But there's a lot of things I want to work on. But most importantly, I just want to, again, reset, reflect. I've been in a lot of social media. I want to get off social media. I just want to have a time of just reflection, of resetting, being with God more again, and just taking my life easy one day at a time and just living. just living. I don't need to always post to show that I'm living, right? Just want to live my life, have fun, spend time with my family and friends, and more importantly, spend time with God and just live, have fun, chill, rest. Ooh, we need rest, y'all. And just be the best that I can be. As an encourager, I have to encourage myself too. I need to fill up. And so I don't mind taking this break because, again, I know it's for the better. So I will see y'all back in July, probably with some great news, with some good things. So I hope in the meantime, I just want you to hopefully just start the things that God has told you to do. Again, know that you're not alone, that there's help out there. Remember also too, there's Jesus and he provides therapy. Woo, woo, woo. And that everything will be okay. Do know that you're not alone. And all the things that you're meant to do and called to do, it's not by mistake. Okay. So I love you. I'm really just grateful for you. Thank you always for always listening to me. Whoever is out there, I know there's people that are listening that probably I won't meet, but I want to say thank you. It means a lot. It really does. And I pray that this continues to bless you. And I pray that you move and occupy spaces and that you're not scared to just be your true and authentic self, because you're meant to be here. You're meant to do great and amazing things. So as always, we're open, we're real, and we're anchored in Jesus. So I'll see you all next month by the grace of God, or in 2 months, let's just say that, in 2 months. And I can't wait to tell you all the great things that happened so far in the past month, in this month that's coming in. And I can't wait to hear y'all too. Let me know. You can email me, tometheeencourager@gmail.com. You can email me as well. I'd love to hear that. So thank you. I love you. So ta-ta for now. Bye.